Now, there was a time long ago in the black and white days of television when grey hair happened to old people, when the British amateur boxing team whitewashed the visiting American team 10-0. Billy Walker was the most famous of our victors on that memorable night. Well, now our amateur boxers are less well known, but the England against USA fixture is still one of the big occasions for our unpaid fighters. Well, Jim Neely and Richie Woodall were ringside for this latest match, and incidentally, for the first time, the bouts are over 5 rounds of 2 minutes each.
In Atlanta, light middleweight gold for David Reed spared American blushes. A team of 96, a far cry from those that produced some of the sport's very greatest exponents. British Olympic success has been rare. Richie Woodall won a bronze in '88, and 4 years later there was another light middleweight bronze for Robin Reid, now the super middleweight champion of the world. The annual England-USA fixture has always been special. Who'll forget victory in 1961 and Billy Walker's spectacular finish? So to 1996 in the London Hilton, an excellent turnout to raise funds for the Habab charity. For many of England's hopefuls, it was a very first real taste of top-class international competition. And for the visitors too, a first step towards the Sydney Olympics in 2000. First of 7 contests and an impressive start for the 18-year-old Ian Napa against the experienced Bradley Martinez. Well, the 5th of the 2-minute rounds and 4 very good rounds of boxing at light flyweight we've had from the little fella in white representing England, Ian Napa, just 18 years old, against a man who's some 8 years older from Arizona, Bradley Martinez, the Army soldier, the tank crew member. And while Napa is not exactly built like a little tank, he certainly looks very powerful, and I'm sure Richie Woodall would agree that this has been a very impressive international debut by Napa.
Oh, certainly, he's done very well here tonight. His punches have been a lot cleaner. I wouldn't say he's done more of the work. The American has done a lot of the work, but they've been shabby punches, and Napa's got home with some lovely clean shots. He's done very, very well.
Napa just a little bit too young to enter the ABAs this year, but a few weeks after the 1996 tournament, he defeated the reigning champion Ronnie Mercer in spectacular fashion. And though he's giving away a fair old bit in terms of height and reach to Martinez, he's made little of that, and his punching has been absolutely spot on, and he's a very genuine prospect.
Oh, indeed. I think he's got a big future in the game. I hope he stays amateur for a lot longer yet. Being 18, then he's got a few internationals to come, and he's one for the future, certainly.
Martinez was the man who came very close to making the Olympic team for the United States for Atlanta this year, defeated in the box office by Eric Morrell. So no mean performer at all, and a man who's had 20 or 30 international contests under his belt. He's coming back a little bit towards the end of this very last round, but Napa has looked very fit over the new distance of 5-2s. According to the computer, scoring leading by 8 points to 3. So he's got a 5-point cushion, Napa. And although he's coming under a bit of pressure now, this is going to really test his stamina. His punching has been spot on. Good finish that was. And Ian Irwin, I think, will be very pleased with his namesake, Ian Napa, who just about gets to the top of the ropes.
The winner, Napa, in the red corner.
Words can't explain that to me, because I was thinking all throughout the England camp, I was just thinking of just winning this fight, and that was all that's in my mind. And like the England trainer in Irwin just kept telling me just focus and sharp punches and all that. Just took that in my mind and everything. Just done it.
USA one down, so the pressure on David Jackson, his opponent from the Repton Club in London, Kelvin Wing. Couple of good rounds from Kelvin Wing, the reigning ABA champion, and he's used that reach of his to pretty good effect, and he's managed to keep this strong fella from Seattle, David Jackson, away from him for the opening 4 minutes.
He has indeed, yeah. He's had a good couple of rounds, it must be said, but you always feel with this American, he's very powerful, very strong, and he's cutting him off now. He's cutting the ring off, and he's got to watch that right hand over the top, and that left hook, this American's left hook is a real good punch.
Kelvin Wing being spoken to for a little bit of holding, and Jackson asked to step backward. Wing has just lost 2 of his 40 contests. Oh, he took a good right hand. That was a good shot from Jackson, who's short and chunky and very powerful. And interestingly, Kelvin Wing in this third round is holding on, and the referees had a little word with him about that. And I think some blood just been wiped away from the nose. So Jackson, certainly the student who wants to get into broadcasting, believe it or not, coming forward. And Wing really has to try to keep him away.
He's got to keep him on the end of that left jab. But the American's starting to step in now, and when he's throwing that right hand, he's in the right position for the left hook, and he's getting through with some heavy punches now.
Well, the right hand came across again. Oh, there's a left. It was a bit of a slap. And the second left looked like the open part of the glove, but nothing wrong with that right hand. What a good punch that was.
That was a cracking punch. That was the one we was on about, over the top. And that's right on the target, and he'll do well to recover from this. He has recovered good. It's good news.
Well, can he survive? And the referee says, hang on a minute. And he's spoken to Jackson for hitting around the side in the kidney area. And having looked pretty good for the first 2 rounds, Wing is now coming under constant pressure. And I'm not sure that he's going to last the end of this round. He's getting caught. A lot of wildness about the work of Jackson. The referee, I think, has perhaps seen enough. And Wing took a very hard body shot. And down he goes, and I think the referee may well be deciding to stop it, and he's actually counted him out. So David Jackson has pulled one back. Level pegging, then it was Carl Wall of Liverpool at light welter against LeChance Shepherd from Milwaukee. Wall, the reigning ABA champion, won the opening rounds using his height and superior reach to pretty good effect, but he simply wasn't able to keep it going. And as the bout progressed, the 22-year-old Shepherd got stronger and stronger, and according to the computer system, Wall failed to register a scoring hit at all in the final 3 rounds. Wall lost 2 points for persistent holding in the 4th and had to take a standing 8 count in the 5th to leave Shepherd the winner by 14 points to 6, and the USA 2-1 up in the match. On then to the light middles from America, Bobby Lewis, and his opponent, England's captain, Chris Bessy. It hasn't been very much between this pair in the opening 3 rounds. Chris Bessy, now 26 years old, captaining England, and very strong. And for somebody who is a soldier, I think Richie Woodall would agree that 5'2" certainly will suit him in terms of overall fitness.
Oh, definitely. The service boys, they're always fit. They're like pros in a way. They're always training every day and whatever. And I shouldn't think he'll have any problems over 5'2s. And the England camp, they're going to need a boost in confidence, and it's got to be a captain's performance tonight.
Well, Chris Bessy, the ABA champion in '93 and again in '95. Some 4 years older than the man in blue from Cincinnati, Ohio, Bobby Lewis, who's had 146 amateur contests and lost only a handful of them. Lewis giving away a little bit in terms of height and reach, but occasionally coming through with a good punch, and Bessy has to be careful not to let that left hand of his slip away. An important contest this for the home side. And there again, a strong left hand from Bobby Lewis, not too far away. The danger for the home boxers is that in the latter stages of the contest, they've tended to fade away a little bit, but you would expect Bessy not to do that.
Yeah, especially with the Americans as well. We've noticed that they've started quite slowly over the first couple of rounds, but as the fight has gone on, they've got stronger towards the end of the bout.
Easily the most experienced member of the English team, Chris Bessy, and not a bad round from him. Just a single point between them going into this 5th and final round. The new 5'2s, remember, which will come into effect from the 1st of January and thereafter, so we better get used to it. And Bessy once again doing the right thing, poking out that right hand of his. Both of them southpaws.
Yes, they are both southpaws, which now and again they can tie each other up. But Bessy's got to keep his boxing together here, not to let this slip, because we've seen it with a few of our lads that they've faded towards the end. But he's keeping his boxing strong, and he's coming through well.
Referee having a good look, and there seems to be a slight nick on the right-hand side of the nose of Bobby Lewis. A little piece of skin may well have been detached, but it's not going to bother him too much. And certainly knowing that it's all or nothing in this final 2 minutes, Lewis has come straight back into things with a vengeance.
Throughout the fight, I've got to say, Bessie's looked a better boxer when he's jabbing with that right hand. He's caught his opponent with some lovely jabs and some lovely 1-2 punches.
Not a bad bit of wrestling either there. Don't think the referee appreciates that, and he sent Bessie into the neutral corner, and he's having a bit of a caution to him, not a warning, which would cost him 2 points, of course. So time running out, and Bessie may well have done just enough to hang on to win this, but I don't think there's going to be very much in it. According to the computer system, a low-scoring contest. And once again a slip. Jackson having a little bit of trouble with his feet. I don't think the canvas is particularly wet.
No, I think he's a bit tired, and they certainly haven't been punches that have put him down anyway.
Once again, the referee has a good look at that little nick on the right-hand side of the nose of Bobby Lewis. And this time, Lewis incurs the referee's displeasure. So Bessie, England's captain, champion of the Army, champion of the Combined Services, and a 1995 overall ABA champion, just has to hang on. There's nothing much between them, and he may well have done enough to get the decision. And I wonder what some of the celebs in the audience think.
The winner, Bessie in the red corner.
So Bessie pulls one back, and he certainly looked very strong over the new 5-by-2 round distance.
So what they say is that the fatigue factor is in the final minute of a 3-minute round. So what they're looking to do is to shorten the round, i.e. to 2 minutes, and but then have more rounds. So the medical commission then see that as safer than boxing 3-3s, 5-2s, because they're only doing the 2-minute round.
The best known of the visiting team was Roshai Wells, one of 5 American bronze medalists in Atlanta, and still just 19 years old. It's been a difficult enough 4 rounds so far for Darren Rhodes from the Hunsett Club in Leeds, a late replacement for John Pierce. And although this man from America, Roshai Wells, from just outside Atlanta in Georgia, where the Olympic Games were held in the summer, is only 19, he really looks a pretty useful prospect.
Yes, and Rhodes has come up against one of the better Americans tonight, and over the last couple of rounds the Americans started to step in with his punch, especially the right hand over the top, and he's getting through with some big shots.
Rhodes hasn't done badly at all, but right from the second, and as Richie said, the third and the fourth, Rhodes has been under a fair old bit of pressure from Wells, who's upped the pace considerably. Well, that was a good shot, not too far away with that right hand, and again just angled the wrist over, and that was the third time, and that really was an impressive shot, and that's going to be the first 8 count of this particular contest. And you always did feel that that was going to come sooner or later.
Yes, almost definitely. The American got through with a very powerful shot there, and I think it definitely deserved the count.
So another trophy for the impressive teenager from Georgia.
I plan to go turn pro real soon, and I think I'm gonna do very well at the pro in the professional ranks. And everybody else that turned pro, I heard they're doing pretty good. You know, Dave turned pro, and Eric Morale, he had a win. Floyd won a fight, a couple of fights, and everybody doing good right now that I hear.
David was David Reid, and I suppose everybody in America was really delighted when he won the gold, because it looked as if America, for the first time ever, or for the first time since 1948, wasn't going to get a gold.
Yeah, everybody was happy because we were like, no, we need to get at least 1 gold medal.
At light heavy, the American representative was Limmy Young, the grandson of the great Joe Louis. So a formidable family reputation to maintain. Limmy Young, the big fellow in blue, is 24 years old. He's a surveillance officer in a casino in Las Vegas. He's been boxing for some 6 years. But Paul Rogers is also pretty experienced. 3 times a losing finalist in the ABAs, 92 and 94 to Kelly Oliver, and this year to Courtney Fry. But he's giving away a fair old bit in terms of height and reach to the southpaw. And Young looks reasonably confident at this stage.
Oh, if he can fight as half as good as his grandfather, then I think we're in for some fireworks tonight.
And Paul Rogers finding that southpaw style a little bit difficult to combat. He doesn't stand too square, Limmy Young. He just keeps his body at the right angle, and it's going to be difficult for Rogers to catch up with him. Good piece of countering by the big American. That left hand came over ominously. Rogers moving away well.
Young seems very loose and relaxed, and with his hands low, again, a typical American style, and it's exciting to watch.
Interesting, for the first time we've seen this evening, an American go into the body. That was a shot that probably won't have scored, because in modern scoring, using the computer system, well, they seem to forget about anything around the torso area. Losing confidence at this stage, Young, and the hands even lower than they were at the start of the round. A little bit on the cocky side, and one wonders, can Paul Rogers capitalise on that? Oh, what a good shot. Oh, spot on. And that was right on the nose, and I don't think Rogers is going to come back. Oh, he looks very dazed. That was a terrific left-hand shot, and the referee is having a good long look, and Rogers is in some considerable distress, and the referee, I think quite rightly, has called that off. And this fella has won in spectacular fashion, and he's pleased enough, it seems. 4-2 down, the match beyond England's reach, and the evening rounded off by the heavyweights, representing England, Hampshire's Tony Oakey. Against the taller Calvin Brock from Charlotte in North Carolina, Oakey, the current ABA champion, started well in a low-scoring bout, but in the latter rounds couldn't get close enough to Brock, rated in the top 3 in America. Brock won 6-2 to give the visitors a 5-2 overall victory in the match. Just the 2 home wins, the captain Chris Bessie at light middle, and at light fly the promising Ian Napa. For both countries, keeping their top boxers in the amateur ranks remains the perennial problem.
It's the start of another 4-year Olympiad training time. Developing some more young men is quite important. I think about 4 of our very good amateur Olympians turned professional in October. One of them, my boxer, Eric Morrell, and a Floyd Mayweather Jr. So we've got, and David Diaz coming up. It's very tempting, you are correct. The money is enticing as heck.
That's the boxing. Now, we mentioned